We're studying today, Be'ezrat Hashem, the melacha of spreading canopy or ohel. Last time we finished Siman 3:14, talking about constructions on Shabbat. Today we'll talk about the prohibition of spreading a canopy. It's not limited to canopy. You'll see what I'm talking about. Can we use an umbrella on Shabbat, for example? Can I build a tent on Shabbat? Can I build a temporary one just for a game, just for a few hours, and so forth and so on. So the Talmud, this is the Siman 315 in the Shulchan Aruch. The Talmud in Tractate Shabbat 138a teaches that if one constructs a canopy on Shabbat that is meant to stand indefinitely, ohel keva, meaning for a long time, he is guilty of the capital offense of Shabbat desecration. The Rambam explained that making an ohel, mahol means a tent, is a tolada, a secondary from the melacha related to the av melacha of boneh. So it's somewhat related to the melacha, the type of work we talked last week, which is called boneh, construct, because you're constructing something. Okay? This is just the introduction. Our sages prohibited the act of spreading an ohel. Arai, ohel means tent. Remember this word, tent. Ohel, arai, temporary. A canopy meant to remain in place temporarily. To enforce the Torah's prohibition of spreading an ohel keva, which means indefinitely. The Talmud in Eruvin 102a explains that if the canopy was partly at least one tefach breathed, spread before Shabbat begins, meaning this is the measurement we're talking about, that it's open already part. It's not squeezed all the way back. It's open a little bit. The canopy, before Shabbat began, it is permissible to spread it further on Shabbat, even if the part that was spread before Shabbat is an ohel keva. It's indefinitely standing there for a long time. It is permissible to add it on Shabbat. It's okay, but the addition must be an ohel arai, temporary one. It is forbidden by the Torah to add more of an ohel keva to an existing ohel keva, something that indefinitely is standing for a long time, to add something again next to it that will be for a longer time. One who destroys an existing ohel keva, the indefinitely tent, right, in order to build something in its place is guilty of the capital offense of the tolada of the melacha of soter. Soter means ruining. One who destroy it without intending for anything to be built in its place transgresses the rabbinical prohibition of mekalkel, ruining, and man-made object. Our sages also prohibited the destruction of an ohel arai. So the Torah talks about something permanent, indefinitely. But our sages extended to even something temporary, because people, do it temporarily and then it lasts forever. As mentioned above, setting up a partition is considered an act of making an ohel, tent. If it is a permanent partition, it's forbidden by the Torah. If it is a temporary ohel and the partition serves a halachic purpose, it's forbidden by our sages. For example, a partition might delineate a private domain in which it is permissible to carry on Shabbat, or it might serve as a wall of a sukkah and render the sukkah kosher. In either of these cases, it is forbidden by our sages to spread this partition. Bottom line, if the temporary partition does not serve any halachic purpose, but is wanted to protect from the sun or the wind, is permitted to spread such thing on Shabbat. This is the introduction. Let's talk details. Okay? So the first halakha, 315, about the prohibition of spreading canopy. It says that it is forbidden to make an ohel, a canopy, on Shabbat or Yom Tov. The Torah forbids the creation of a permanent ohel only, but our sages prohibited the making of any temporary ohel as well if it is a canopy spread like a roof. As far as setting up temporary vertical partitions, if they have halachic significance, our sages forbid it as well. For example, if a sukkah has only 2 standing walls, it is not kosher for the mitzvah. If someone wishes to extend some partition as a 3rd wall, thereby rendering the sukkah kosher, this is forbidden on Shabbat or Yom Tov. I'm sorry? What?
Oh, Slicha, Rabbi, I was speaking with Chantal. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Likewise, if one wishes to enclose an area so that it will be permissible to carry within it, it is prohibited. It is forbidden. If the temporary partition has no halachic significance, however, it is permitted. Okay, that's some also like introduction. Okay, now let's talk business. It is forbidden on Shabbat to form a tent out of blankets in order to use the space inside. This is so even indoors under a roof. One says, anyways, I have a roof up above me. It's still considering as constructing an ohel. Okay, senor? It is forbidden on Shabbat to spread a mat attached to 4 poles, even if this only a temporary measure to give protection from the sunlight or the rain. Okay, question. Someone has a window and a sun coming through the window, and it's really bothering the family. It's too hot. And he wants to put some sort of curtain to cover on Shabbat, or to protect from the wind, or from the heat, or from the cold, or to protect the candles that they want extinguish. Can he do that on Shabbat? To put a curtain for these purposes. So halacha says it is permissible, it's okay, to hang a curtain over a window or doorway to protect them from the sunlight or the cold, or to protect the light from being blown out by the wind. However, one may not drive a nail into the wall on which to hang the curtain. So you need to be creative a little bit. It will hold, or put it on something. Okay? What about mechitza, like we have here? Can I open it on Shabbat? Stand there, okay? And I just need to pull it all the way, and this is how I'm dividing this room. Yeah. And it hangs them from the top. Right now it's all the way to the back. Can I open it on Shabbat? So the halacha says, it is permissible on Shabbat to set up a temporary partition for the sake of privacy. Therefore, one may hang a curtain in a doorway or in the front of a sukkah, and even to attach the curtain in that position. Likewise, one may hang a curtain to separate men's and women's section for the Torah lecture.
It could be the same like in the yard, where they
Yes, same, like the one I have behind me, yeah.
Open the doors.
Correct. Yes. Someone's window broke on Shabbat, and he wants to put some sort of cloth to protect. What's the deal? If a window become broken on Shabbat, it is permissible to hang a cloth in its place as a temporary substitute. One may even set the cloth in the window frame as long as one does not nail it in place. Okay, the nails and its tools are muktzeh. Okay? Can I use a hammer on Shabbat? The answer should be depends. If I need to do it like a regular day, mundane day work, no. But if I want to break a nut, I can use it on Shabbat. Because I want to eat the nut. I want to eat what's inside. It'll help me to open it. So you told me that we've learned there is no way we can create a canopy or a tent on Shabbat. But I think some of you saw that even the rabbis are putting a canopy on the head of the children in the synagogue in the holiday. When was it? And Simchat Torah. When all the kids go to the Torah, there are people holding talit above their head, right?
Yeah.
But we just learned we can't build a canopy. Why this one is permitted? Obviously, if they do that, it's permitted. What do you think? What makes it permitted? So the halacha says the following. In many communities, the custom is that in Simchat Torah, all the little children are called up together to have the Torah read for them, and several adults stretch a talit over their heads while one child recites the blessing over the Torah. This is permissible and is not infringed on the prohibition against spreading a temporary ohel tent on Yom Tov. Why? Why do you think this is okay? How is that different from just building myself an ohel on Shabbat, a tent on Shabbat, or canopy?
Well, because this is not for the cover from the sun.
That's number one. What else? Who is holding it? I'm holding it with nails?
No.
Who's holding it?
The man.
People.
The people.
This is because the talit remains held up by hand. And also because it is not meant to protect the space under it from the sun or rain. Right, like you said. It is spread over the children for the honor of the Torah only. This is true even when Simchat Torah occurs on Shabbat. Okay, Mishael? You have a question? No questions? All clear? Good. Listen to this. A baby in its crib. It is forbidden to spread a blanket or sheet across the top of baby's crib or cradle on Shabbat to shield the baby from the sunlight or the rain. If the sheet was spread over a part of the crib, at least one tefach, like this size as we said, before Shabbat begins, it is permissible to spread it over the entire crib on Shabbat. Then, when one wishes to uncover the crib, one should not remove the sheet completely. One should return it to the position it had been when Shabbat began. The same rules apply to spreading a net or a cloth across the baby's stroller to protect the child from the sunlight or rain. The Torah doesn't give discounts and doesn't lenient in this case. Now, in many babies' strollers, they have this canopy to cover. Can I close it or open it over the head of the baby on Shabbat? It's a built-in thingy. Halacha said, some poskim rule that it is permissible to spread open a canopy that is built onto a stroller in order to protect the child from the sunlight or rain. This is so even if the canopy is tightly folded so that it is now covers less than a tefach, less than this size width. It's really narrow. Not only may one spread the canopy open, one may fold it shut as well. Close all the way. They claim that since the canopy is built into the stroller and it is made to be opened and folded shut as one wishes, it is no different than a door that swings on its hinges. According to this opinion, it is permissible to open a miniature umbrella that is attached to the stroller, and this does not infringe upon the prohibition of making an ohel. Okay? Since there are poskim who disagreed with this, it is most proper to open the canopy partially before Shabbat so that it is open to a width at least 1 tefach. Many has the custom, especially Ashkenazim, to leave it closed before Shabbat. That way, it will be certainly permissible to spread it open further as is needed. When closing the canopy afterward, it is most proper to take care to leave it open at least 1 tefach wide. That's right. The folded section can count as the tefach or part of it. Many people has a folding bed. They can fold it. The folding bed commonly used today may be open on Shabbat, since this is how they are meant to be used, and it is all connected as one unit. They may be folded up on Shabbat as well. So you can open it and close it on Shabbat, no problem. Same also, it is likewise to open up a portable crib to insert its bottom board and its mattresses. One may fold it up after use as well, as this does not infringe of the prohibition against destroying an existing ohel. You build something, now you're folding it. It's nothing to do with that. This is the way it's built, and this is the use for this object. Some says, hey, you're putting a big tablecloth, it goes all the way down, and kids can sit under it. This is an ohel. What's the solution?
Well, nobody will be in the bottom of the table.
You just tell them, I don't care. It's permissible to spread a tablecloth over the table on Shabbat, even if the cloth drops around the sides of the table down to the floor, since we do not use the space under the table. It's not going to be building there, a playground or something. Yeah. Same with the bed at your bedroom. Likewise, it's permissible to spread a blanket or bedspread over the bed, even if it is drops over the sides of the bed to the floor. You can also build it with books. It's permissible to place 2 books near each other on the table and place a 3rd book on the 2 first books, even though this forms a space that is covered by the 3rd book, since one does not use the space formed there. Okay, what about what's behind me? It's called parochet. It is permissible to hang the parochet, the ornamental curtain, on the front of the ark containing the Torah scroll in the synagogue, like you see behind me, right? While hanging the parochet, one must take care not to allow it to double over and form a canopy of tefach wide. Therefore, the parochet must be hung by 2 people together to prevent this from happening. Okay? Are we talking about hanging it? But you don't have. It's not an issue here. It's already there, right, boys? I know you always wants to ask questions, but let's wait with the questions till we finish. Good. Umbrella, very famous question. Can I use umbrella on Shabbat?
No.
Under no circumstances you can use umbrella, you saying? No for umbrella? The answer is the following. It is forbidden to open an umbrella and carry it over one's head on Shabbat to protect oneself from the sunlight or the rain, even if the umbrella was left open since before Shabbat began. It is forbidden to carry it over one's head on Shabbat. What about using, let's see if I have it here. What about using a non-Jew? A non-Jew that will open it for the Jew and will help the Jew to use it. He will hold it above the Jew's head. So the halacha said, even if the umbrella was it's forbidden to carry it over one's head on Shabbat. It is permissible, however, to instruct a non-Jew to open the umbrella and carry it over one's head in an area surrounded by the eruv. In an area not surrounded by a kosher eruv, all poskim agree that it is forbidden to use an umbrella out in the Reshut HaRabim, the public domain. It is forbidden to simply handle an umbrella even inside a house, since it is a muktzeh. I will share with you two more halachot and we finish with that for today. This is the topic for today. If a barrel of water or wine is only partially filled so that there is an empty space at least 1 tefach high between the surface of the liquid and open top of the barrel. I mean, it's not full all the way up. The barrel, wine or water, it's not all the way up. It is forbidden to spread cloth across the top of the barrel. This appears to be an act of making an ohel. If the cloth was spread over the top of the barrel, it's forbidden to remove it on Shabbat, for that appears to be the act of destroying an existing ohel. It's permissible to place the lid made especially for the barrel on and off as one wishes, since this is what the lid is made for. It does not appear to be an act of making or destroying an ohel. So don't improvise, just use its designated lid. The Jews like to ask a lot of questions. So they're saying, if I can make a canopy, what about people's hat? Okay? That goes all the way. It's like sombrero, for example. You know what sombrero? You ever heard this word before?
There's a problem with the sombrero? Or depend what kind of sombrero it is?
Depend. Even if the hat brim is a tefach, I mean the surrounding the brim, wide, is nevertheless does not infringe of the prohibition of creating an ohel. Some people have such a big hat, it looks like an ohel, looks like a tent. Like a tent on Shabbat. This is because the hat are not made of stiff, unbendable material, and therefore the brim is not considered an ohel. It's something soft, you can fold it, right? Regardless of its width. Only hat with a stiff brim that cannot be bent is forbidden on Shabbat because it is likewise it's likewise creating an ohel. Furthermore, the prohibition of ohel applies only when it is intended to protect the area underneath from the rain or the sunshine. If the wide brim is only meant as a symbol of distinction and not for such protection, wearing it does not involve the prohibition of making an ohel on Shabbat. Bottom line, even if it's for beauty or for a design, it still can be used on Shabbat. Some people wearing a sombrero, not much here, but the people wearing cowboy's hat or the regular Jewish hat that you see the Haredim is wearing, right? So all that. And next time we're going to have B'ezras Hashem, a very interesting topic. We're going to talk about hunting on Shabbat. Hunting, slaying, and inflicting injuries on Shabbat. Hunting. You know what hunting means? To hunt an animal?
Yeah.
So you're saying it's not so common today that I'm pursuing after an animal and kills it.
It's forbidden.
It's forbidden. But what about hunting? It's not limited to I'm hunting a deer or, I don't know, another animal. What about if I'm hunting mosquitoes or roaches? It's an animal and I'm killing it. Can I kill it on Shabbat?
Okay.
Or a fly?
Yeah.
Moscas.
Yeah.
So, can I do that on Shabbat? These flies are bothering me, and these mosquitoes are, ruining my Shabbat. Let me kill it. So, are you expecting to suffer the whole Shabbat? Can I use spray to spray over them on Shabbat? When I'm hunting and I shoot a rifle, right? But here, it's not recommended to use a rifle against the mosquito. Not a good idea.
No.
But instead, we're using a spray, right?
You can kill.
Right, but kill it with the spray. Can I do that on Shabbat?
I don't think so.
Can I just answer? B'ezras Hashem will be giving next week.
All right.
On behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, I want to thank you for participating. I see, guys, you have no questions anymore. Everything is clear now. And thank you for coming. Next time you entering this room, you see there are not enough chairs, bring chairs from the other room. Baruch Hashem, we have plenty of people here today. Shalom, shalom.